So yesterday, the leadership of Parliament met the media, and they sort of gave a sense of what to expect for the new, I don't know what to call it, the sitting or the new meeting. I don't get into session, meeting, sitting, not really sure. But they had a conversation with the media, and they were talking of some of the things to expect. And Mahama Yarga, the majority leader, said one of the things they were going to do this month was they were going to put in a bill to change the name of the Kotoka International Airport to the Accra International Airport.
Kotoka International Airport. It used to be called, I think, Accra International Airport, I'm told. That was the name. That was the name before the people who changed it went and changed it. And it is not fair to the people of Accra that, an airport, they've given you land to build an airport, and the airport is named after them, and then you are going to change it and put your name. Well, you didn't give the land for the construction of the airport. So, to honor the people of Accra who gave the land, we're going back to using Accra as the name of the airport. So that's all that it is about. That's all that it is about. So that's really what it is. That's really what it is. That the thing was called Accra International Airport. So let us go back to. I think that was the name. Those of you who are older than me in this room, that was the name. Yeah, so why was it changed? There was no basis for changing it. We are resetting Ghana. So it has nothing to do with the personality of Kotoka. I mean, I don't know him, so I don't think there's a reason why an airport should not be named after him. But if you go and change somebody's name and put your name, tomorrow somebody also can remove your name and put somebody's name. So that's what has happened. But I think that Accra International Airport, honors the people of Accra who have sacrificed their land for the building of the capital city. And so we need to honor them and show appreciation. So Accra International Airport.
So that was Mahama Yarga putting that information across. The minority leader, MP for Futu, was not very cooperative on this. He wasn't happy. He felt it wasn't necessary. Here are his views.
All these years, we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly it's being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. I'm not suggesting any other name. I'm saying that the name Kotoka International Airport, Accra is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra, or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied. Well, Honorable Kwame Abuja is from Volta. Honorable Ukujeta Blakwa, he's from Volta and is sitting in cabinet. Honorable Fifi Kwete is the General Secretary of NDC from Volta region. Honorable Ahiafo, he is the first Deputy Speaker in this government from Volta region. Honorable Kwame Eche, the Femeko, Majority Chief Whip from Volta region. And they are all sitting down, watching the government to take away a Voltarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive governments never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta, and they are in the government, and they are watching Volta to lose its pride. It's up to them.
7:53 on the City Breakfast Show. To opening thoughts on this, we'll spend a bit more time on this later after taking social media trends. But I don't know. There's a really nice article written by Kweku Azar on this, and I feel like it's okay. he
takes a position, doesn't
he's
he?
nailed it. And for me,
You agree with his position?
so I'm torn. So I feel the name should change because I think that the 68 years of independence has taught us that that's how I see it. So Nkrumah was imperfect, but I feel like from my understanding of development, his overthrow was the beginning of a lot of problems for the country. Dark days in Ghana, he calls it. And I feel like while Kuku was arguing that history doesn't necessarily, we don't give names to honor people, we give names to commemorate the event. That was say, why didn't you call it Operation Guitar Boy Airport? Because that's really what happened, right? It was the coup and the counter coup and the way he sort of Kotoka was killed at the airport, and that's why we remember. So you can read his article. It's a really good article, right? I agree with a lot of what he says, but in essence, I still feel the Kotoka name should go.
Okay. So it's here.
Maybe you want to read it.
Kotoka Airport name reflects national turmoil, not coup glorification. Professor Azar, renowned legal scholar, Professor Kuku Asare alias Kuku Azar, has warned that the government's plan to rename Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport risks erasing important lessons from Ghana's history. In a post shared on Facebook yesterday, Tuesday, February 3, 2026, he said that for over 60 years, the name of the airport has symbolized the country's political turbulence, coups, and unrest, noting that the debate of renaming it has been oversimplified. Quote, the appeal of the simplistic claim that the airport's name exists to celebrate the 1966 coup rests on an incomplete reading of history. The renaming of Kotoka International Airport was not intended to glorify the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah, he wrote. He explained that the 1969 renaming of KIA was not meant to glorify the 1966 coup, but to honor Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, who was killed during Operation Guitar Boy in 1967 while resisting a counter coup. Quote, the airport was renamed to mark the site of Kotoka's death, not to glorify military intervention in politics. It records a moment of national turmoil rather than endorsing it as an act of remembrance, not celebration, Professor Asari said. The government...
Are you reading his article or reading a story about his article?
Okay, so
because
this is a story written. Okay, let me go to.
I feel like you need to. You know what? I feel like.
Okay, let me get the straight stuff.
No, just take it. We don't have time.
You have the article?
I have it. Yeah.
Okay.
People can read it if they like.
Yeah, people should find it themselves
and read it. It's part of their work. He's basically saying that history is multidimensional, and the fact that you name an airport after Kotoka doesn't mean you celebrate him, because even Nkrumah himself, before he was overthrown, had essentially created a one-party state. The fact that you name things after Nkrumah doesn't mean you support the one-party state. He says our constitution, the process that brought about our constitution 92 was a process that was initiated by a coup leader, Rawlings. Okay, so his argument is that it's petty to be changing names like this, and I think his argument is that we have not come to peace with ourselves.
Yes, which
is why we are changing the name. Yeah, but we've never said we are at peace with ourselves. We are not at peace. We are not at peace at all. I mean, I'm saying Ayariga was quite smart in not necessarily even using the fact that Kotoka did the coup. He just said we'll give it back to Accra, because I'm sure he didn't want it to get into a sort of Kotoka is from this part of the country kind of situation. I don't know.
No, I completely, let me first of all say that I find it pretty disingenuous to reduce this to a tribal argument, and I hope the politicians keep the tribalism out of this conversation. We've had too many times where ethnic sentiments. We've had too many times where we've allowed that to lead the conversation, and no sense ever comes out of it once we go in that direction. So I was a bit disappointed.
Why the minority leader decided to
go
that route.
I was very disappointed that his argument was on that particular path. I think that there are a lot of other arguments. And back to the debate itself, I don't think there's a right or wrong here when it comes to how I look at this. I think Kuku Azar represents a school of thought on changing the names of monuments. There are those who also say that monuments are never meant to be static. There are those who have even said that, look, a country should almost every 20 years think about some of its major monuments and change them. Something caught my mind this morning when we were having our pre-production meeting. Caleb mentioned Ora Tambo Airport. Very lovely airport, right?
Yeah.
You've used it several times, and I'm sure regular travelers.
Oliver Tambo.
Yes, but it used to be Jan Smuts. Do you know who Jan Smuts is?
I'm sure it's on apartheid guy.
He's the king of apartheid.
Yeah.
In 96.
He has to go.
Yes.
The name had to go.
Yeah. Why did they not keep it as a reflection of their history?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can't run away from the fact that South Africa, but the country had reached a point where it felt that this is not the representation that we wanted. It doesn't mean that apartheid didn't happen. It doesn't mean that Jan Smuts didn't exist. He did. A couple of years ago, we had the Rhodes Must Go, if you remember. Cecil Rhodes.
Even Gandhi.
Yes, I was coming to that. I was going to end my argument with the Gandhi statue in Ghana, which was led by academics, and I will come from the Rhodes Must Go to Gandhi. So if you look at Rhodes Must Go, if you historically we are to analyze Cecil Rhodes and his contribution, there are those who will tell you, fantastic, great man, but historically he was as big a colonialist as you would find.
Yeah.
So
Rhodesia.
exactly. So why do you think that after 100 plus years there was an awakening in that part of the world that said, look, this is not the kind of person we want to identify with? Then we come to Gandhi. Gandhi is universally hailed as perhaps the foremost proponent of pacifist politics.
Non-violence.
Yet somebody went to open some wounds.
People open wounds, and
his racial.
And in Ghana, of all places, an argument, and a very solid argument, was put forth by academics at the University of Ghana who said, this cannot be a representation we want in our university at this time, because if our evolution and our education has come to teach us that Gandhi looked down on black people. So it does not take away the fact that Gandhi was a pacifist that is hailed by by Obama and co, but there's written history, his own letters, his own books that point to him looking down on women, that point to him looking down on black women as inferior, on black people as inferior to Indians. So take your Gandhi statue away. So we then come down to Kotoka. When Kotoka's incident happened, Operation Guitar Boy happened, at that time, what was the thinking of the people of the country? Would they have celebrated the fact that Kotoka had become a hero who had removed Kwame Nkrumah? So he was in 1969.
So under Buzia, obviously.
Yes. No, I'm just saying that.
No, I'm just
the process of thinking was
he was killed in 67.
67. But was he a hero to the people at the time?
Maybe to the then Buzia
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That the marking of the spot of his death. A lot of people have died at certain places. Are those places named after them? No. But it's significant because this is the person who, in concert with others at that time, would have removed what a lot of people felt was the greatest obstacle to the development of the country at the time.
In their mind.
So when that decision was made, was it legit or not? That is a conversation that can be had.
For their time.
But we are in 2026.
We have the freedom
and there are those who have also said that thinking has changed.
Yes, please.
Our perspectives have changed. And we look back and say, perhaps this is not what we want to heal. But then again, there are those who say it's also the easy way to go, because why do we, and Ghana particularly, I say this a lot, Ghana does not like to tango with its dark past. Ghana prefers, even if you look at our textbooks, our history books, we tend to kind of whitewash our dark days a lot, because we always want to look good about ourselves, want to feel good and say Ghana for any Paboni. We are bad people.
Not so reflective.
We've had a lot of bad people in our history, but we tend not to want to tango with that, whether we like it or not. We are a country, a territory that is made up of good people and bad people. Times will come when those bad people are good people. Another time will come when good people are bad people.
So your point around us not facing our past is true. I agree with you. But I still feel you are saying that nonetheless, the 2026 generation of Ghanaians have a right to change the name if they believe that.
If they believe so, and at the moment, the overwhelming feeling, if you look
Yes,
at
the public
Nkrumah's sentiments over the past decade, you will struggle to tell this generation that keeping an airport's name, if the name of an airport that is linked to the man who overthrew the person they think now, perhaps the greatest Ghanaian ever, and that he set this country on a path that this man and his group have derailed.
Yeah.
Looking back now,
Yeah.
this generation will tell you, remove the name.
And if you did a referendum, I think
Yes, generally a lot of people will tell you.
The removing the name will be more. If let me take a sample here, let me take 2 seconds from you. I'll give you time.
2
after
seconds.
No, I'm going to take a couple of quick things. You were going to make a submission about this before we took the break. Let me hear you.
Yeah,
quickly.
so I'm going to look at it on the basis of, or in 4 frames: politicization, acceptance, and the constitution, as well as evolution as a people, which is Godfred hinted at that earlier. To listen to the 2 leaders of parliament, and I continue to say that parliament is becoming less representative. Listening to the majority leader, it's okay if he's making a point about reverting to the previous name, which was Accra International Conference Center.
No, Accra International Airport.
Accra International Airport. But to sort of throw in subtle ethnocentric comments about Ga people in there, I think is disappointing and very uncalled for. Same goes to the minority leader, Afenyo Marking, bringing in the Volta leg that Voltarians in the government should want their names to be put out there in terms of naming heritage things in this country. I also feel disappointed with the point he makes about the spin on the political heritage. Okay, if you follow history, it won't be lost on you the Dankwa Buzia side as against the Nkrumah etc. side. And so making it, once again, our politicians are playing politics, doing the us versus them. I don't think there's even a debate about this. If we're going to revert to a name that was previously used, let's just do that and move on. But to throw political salvos in order to make some political capital out of this is very, very unfortunate. And for the leadership of a House of Representatives, I think they must realign their interest. When it comes to the article by Professor Azar, I've not thoroughly read it. I'm speaking to the summary that you gave and bits of what Caleb read, Bernard. I think that the point for me is about acceptance. We need to accept certain parts of our history, whether they bring fond memories or whether they are disheartening. And it's a fact of our existence that we had a leader called Kwame Nkrumah. Unfortunately, in 1966, somebody decided to repudiate the constitution, or not somebody, a group of people, by embarking on a coup, which the constitution prohibits. But the acceptance of it is also important. But my disagreement with Prof will be that in as much as we accept it, we should take a cue from the 31st December women's case, where the Supreme Court said that resources of the state, and by inference, commemorations and celebrations, should not be used for certain things that are in clear disputes with the Constitution. Article 3 prohibits coup d'etat and even calls on us as citizens that we must resist it. And so if we are going to commemorate, if we are going to name, historical things or significant things in this country, we must do it with a certain mindset, appreciating what the Constitution says, which is the argument of lawyer Oliver Baka-Vomawo, the suit which he took to court some few months ago, arguing on the constitutionality of naming this airport. And then for me as a people, there's a certain realization. I hope not, that the decisions or the views people are expressing, majority of course will be against keeping the name. It should not be merely an emotional call that let's change the name because we are angry about what happened to Nkrumah. All aspects of our history are good, the good and the bad. the decision should be appreciating the constitutionality of it, the history of it, the acceptance, and then making an informed decision for the next generation.
That's a good one. Caleb, read me that excerpt of the 1969.
Yes, National Liberation Council Decree,
Okay.
General Kotoka Trust Decree. So this published in the Ghana Law Finder, and it goes on to it's a trust. It's a trust that was set up in his name, and there are several other things that were actually proposed to be done in memory of Kotoka. Actually, beyond renaming the airport, I'll bring you a few of that. So the intro simply says, whereas the government and people of Ghana mourned the loss of late General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, GSO, that's General Officer Commanding of the Ghana Armed Forces, who fell during the insurrection of the 17th April 1967, and those gallant soldiers who fell during the insurrection of the 17th April 1967 and during the 24th February Revolution, and whereas the government and people of Ghana wish to demonstrate their gratitude for their liberation and for the rebirth of freedom in Ghana, which was achieved by these gallant men by creating a trust to provide for committing to posterity the memory of the late Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka and the others who fell, and to provide for the widows and children of these gallant soldiers. So let me just go to the relevant portions that comes to the airport and other things that happen. That's paragraph 8. So objects of trust. 1. The objects for which the trust is established are: A, the renaming of the Accra International Airport to Kotoka International Airport after the late Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, without any financial charge being placed on the trust fund. The naming of an army barracks, Kotoka Barracks, after the late General Kotoka, without any financial charge being placed on the trust. The erection of a statue of the late General Kotoka as a warrior in full battle dress at the spot where he fell near the Accra International Airport, and the creation of a quiet garden in the area surrounding the statue. D, the acquisition by the trustees in favor of the trust of that portion of land situated at the Accra International Airport where it is proposed to erect a statue of the late General Kotoka and to create a quiet garden to surround it. It goes on to talk about a tombstone and furnishing of a house for his widow not exceeding 17,000 cedis at the time, and then some fund for his kids and all of that.
So these things were in
the trust, including let me just add the final one, the provision in each region of a clinic to be called Kotoka Memorial Clinic at a cost not exceeding 10,000 cedis. There's an end there. In the case of the Volta region, the clinic shall be erected at the Fiaho near the late general's hometown.
Interesting. The question I wanted to ask was, did they add Kotoka as a school? Because there's in the JSS schools in Vema Camp, there's services, there's Kotoka. So I don't know whether that was part of this or it was a later decision. But I know people who went to a school in Vema Camp, JSS, called Kotoka. There's Garrison, there's services, and then there's Kotoka as well. All right. So, by the way, were the hospitals built? Do we know? Were the hospitals built?
No.
They were not built. So, but they wanted the name change.
Yes.
A small garden.
Yes.
And then the statue. So the statue is still there.
At
the
the
statue
airport.
Still
No, the
I
statue
don't know
has
if
been
the
removed.
airport.
It's been
Yeah.
removed.
Where was it removed?
No, where the statue has been reconstructed.
Redesignated, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was not controversial.
I don't know whether the small roundabout that separates the international airport
the- yeah.
from the
The domestic.
still has it.
But the statue was at where the car park is now. Before the old
the old one.
The old.
Yes.
So how come when they were removing, they didn't discuss it on air?
Well,
that's a long
no.
time
I
ago.
don't think they removed it as in let's get rid of it. I think it's
Expansion.
just expansion and
Yeah,
where
but
we
why didn't
situate
people?
it.
Why didn't people?
Jubilate.
Why didn't people criticize that they should have rebuilt it back? Because if you are removing it, for example, if you are redesigning Kwame Nkrumah Circle
And you move the statue.
and you remove the statue to redesign it, I'm sure you will have to put the statue back when you finish.
Yes, that's
So it's
what
not
I'm
it has
saying.
kept us.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Thomas Sankara's statue has been removed. Nobody went to.
But that time we didn't have CTFF. Those days, Charlie, you obey before complain. So, so the statue was that they call it redemption.
Where?
Sankara Circle, right?
Yes.
They
it
used to call
be
it Redemption.
Circle, yeah.
The statue was there.
Yeah, in the roundabout. It used to be roundabout.
So who removed it? Again, when they were doing the new...
When was it Razel construction, when they were doing the overpass, that's when
So they removed it quietly.
Yeah, I mean, really, nobody really cares about these things if the removal is for a useful purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So back to
Back to the Kotoka issue.
no. So I just wanted to understand the statue. So in '69, they named the airport after him, built a statue, created a garden, ordered for a house for his widow, and then for a hospital to be built in
Clinics.
every region with his name. That's a lot of things.
Too much.
But I'm sure they were overthrown before they could finish doing it.
Yeah.
Because they were, this is
Yeah.
69. When were they overthrown? Who's there?
69. Of course.
Oh, that it wasn't.
Is this
So
69?
Achampong came in 69. I thought it was
No,
70.
Achampong came 72.
So who overthrew Buzia?
That's Achampong. Achampong overthrew Buzia in 72.
Sorry. So Buzia came in 69.
Yes.
And then he went. Okay, yes. So he had 2.5 years.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, Bernard, you know, for me,
Because I'm not saying Achampong be your man.
well, I think that this Kotoka argument,
Achampong be your man, pa.
we are making it too much of a big deal.
Oh, Charlie.
Okay, now if the politicians think that they want to change their name, I mean, they should do whatever they want to do.
Politicize
We should stop the politicizing. You see, it's not necessary.
Oh.
In fact, when I heard Ayariga, I was, but you don't have to give us all these reasons. Okay, there could be even more commercial reasons why you want to change it and use the generic Accra name to represent a destination connected,
Yeah.
because look, we had Thomas Sankara Circle. Ask yourself, what did Sankara do for Ghanaians?
He's a liberator.
Liberated who?
He's a big man.
No, I'm not. You see, what I'm saying is that
But not in Ghana.
people are named in commemoration so that we can tell stories. You understand? It's not because the person was a saint or it's just what it is.
Exactly.
It's to craft the history and preserve it. So at times we use some of these monuments in memory of some of these things. Now, the other angle where Apenyomakin talks about Voltarians, my first reaction was, do you think that if Voltarians were asked to name the airport after a Voltarian, they
Have
will
any
call
other
Kotoka?
person beside Kotoka?
They will leave Efremamu
Thank you.
and then come and call Kotoka.
Exactly.
So let's leave that one too aside. If you want to change, let's change. So we'll get on with weightier matters.
You are funny.
Weightier matters.
You think if they ask Voltarians to choose a name?
They won't choose Kotoka. So what I'm saying is that if
Charlie.
you think you want to, you just change it. Let's go.
Don't
Because for me,
confuse-
I don't want the country to be bogged down with this.
But
Yeah.
I even have more filler. So apparently there's even a house in Ketasco
Okay.
called Kotoka House. So he has a few things left.
Benade, let's go next door, Nigeria. What's the name of the airport?
Murtala.
Who was Murtala Mohammed? Murtala Mohammed is the one who did the coup in 1975 to remove Ironsi.
But Ironsi was a coup maker too.
No. So
Ironsi removed the first president,
Yes,
Tafawa Balewa.
no.
No, Ironsi was a coup.
Ironsi removed. There was somebody Ironsi removed.
So it-
because
no, yes,
it
the-
was
yeah.
during the Civil War.
Amadou Bello.
Yes. So
Amadou-
I'm just saying
Amadou
that.
Bello. Before the
I'm
Civil
only
War.
saying that he was a coup maker.
He did a coup against a coup.
No. So
He did a coup
so
against the
it,
coup
it
priest.
legitimizes.
No.
I'm just saying that. But
I'm
no
just
question
worrying
about that. No question about that.
Yes.
Nigerians haven't said that because he did coup. So let's remove. So I'm just saying that if you think you want to do it, just do it. Let's move on.
But have
to
you
the next.
noticed that in Ghana we are more into those things than Nigeria? Because he mentioned, for example, the Gandhi statue. I think Ghana is a bit, I don't know how to put it. We tend to be, I won't call it petty, but we are very, I don't know. These things affect some people a lot.
Bernard, it doesn't affect anything. It's the politicians who are doing these things. Why didn't they say that? Let's take this conversation to academia.
No, but
So that the historians and things will come together.
because the
and come-
historians themselves, they said we should remove Gandhi statue from Legon.
Because they gave
And I'm
logical
coming.
reasons.
But I'm coming. I'm even saying that the issue of naming is not just limited to the airport. Universities have been named. They've gone back to their old names. You remember? Stadiums, when they said they would name Accra as Ohinijan Stadium. So I'm saying that it's actually something that as a society, we have not, as you said, Nigeria, I don't think they do that a lot. I don't know. I remember. Here we are very named some way.
Bernard.
You know, maybe that's how we are.
There's every country, everybody has their own way of dealing with some of these things. All I'm saying is that let's not, as a country, spend too much time debating a thing like this, because changing the name, not changing the name, doesn't add more traffic to the airport. It doesn't give access to more.
Yeah, but let's use a small time. Let's not use a lot. Let's
No,
use because I want them to change.
So I am okay with the name change.
Yeah.
No, I'm very okay with it. All I'm saying is that this
ethnicity
too much. So that the Accra people to who go I gather there's a group of people called Accra.
No, we are.
Where did he get that name Accra from? Isn't the white man who gave us Accra?
What I'm saying is that we support. No, okay, wait. Let's take a
They
vote
should
here.
stop the ethnicity business.
Let's forget our ethnicity. Let's take a vote here. How many of you agree that the name should go?
Well, I think we should go.
Me, I think it should go.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think it's long overdue. No. I'm only saying that.
They say ethnicized or politicized.
Yeah, the ethnicity thing is not.
No, I've heard that point, but we are voting now. Me,
I'm abstaining. It matters not.
Okay.
What is important is that
we are voting
and take out the politics.
So myself, Godfred, and Samen say the name must go.
Yes.
Caleb says,
I don't care.
what about you?
Neither do I don't care.
But it's 3 against neutral.
Yeah, I don't care.
At least
We can't be against. We don't even have a position.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care. Let's read the comment. Okay.
So let me give you this. Bernard, good morning. Is the renaming of the airport important? Have the Ghana people complained? Additionally, what does the renaming really solve? Let's concentrate on more important issues. Others, good morning, Bernard. This change of name of the airport is absolutely irrelevant to national development. By the way, what prompted this? Good morning, Bernard. I would like for the government to channel their energy to change Kotoka's name to rather help the other airports be more active, improve the airport itself, that's Kotoka, and also get international flights to land in other regions. Akosia Senda. Bernard, good morning. This change of name is needless. Is waste of our limited resources. Unfortunately, the current government emerged from a military coup. We are renaming things in this country. What really is the motivation? Okay, so these are more messages against, but these are
the two against.
These are against. So let me give you a final one.
Now do my people.
Before I come to you, I strongly feel that changing the airport's name from Kotoka to Accra International Airport might not be necessary. You see, Kotoka has become a recognizable brand over the years, evoking a sense of pride and connection among Ghanaians at home and abroad. Instead of changing the name, let's explore other creative ways to promote Accra globally. There's a certain charm in saying, "Mommy, I've landed in Kotoka now."
Because that's all you know. That's all you know.
Yeah. So this is support. But I'm in total support of the change of name of our iconic airport to Accra International Airport. Kojo Akao sent that from the UK. Bernard, I support 100% the renaming of the airport.
Correct.
Ghana cannot honor and revere Kwame Nkrumah and at the same time honor General Kotoka, the coup maker who truncated Ghana's developmental trajectory with the overthrow of Dr. Nkrumah. Afanyo Marking and the minority are still unable to read the mood of Ghanaians. Kwesi Akwa sent that from Sakumono. Bernard, good morning.
Morning.
I strongly think the minority leaders' comment on the name change of our international airports on tribal tangent is unfortunate. The airport was originally called Accra International Airport until the death of Kotoka at the forefront of the airport. At the forecourt, you want to say. Yes. So it being reverted back to its original name is very right to me. Thanks. Yeah, I'll send that from the UK. Right. My name is Cyril Bernard. I fully support the change of the name of the airport from Kotoka, but not to Accra International Airport. I will support naming it after a very influential Ghanaian, not necessarily Ghana, but preferably Ghana, since it is on Ghana land, to be more precise, to honor the people of Accra. An influential son or daughter's name will be more ideal. Okay.
Destination Accra.
Yeah, man. Yes. I think the name should be changed to Ghana International Airport. Oh boy. Instead of Accra International Airport.
No, we have Kumasi International Airport, so you can't say Ghana International Airport. I think that Accra is fine.
Sankara Circle was changed to Akwaje Interchange because Sankara was a coup maker. Why should we maintain Kotoka, who helped overthrow our first president, from Samuel Odamte? Joshua from Ashaiman.
No, Samuel Odamte is writing from Kaswa J River.
Come on.
Is there a river in Kaswa like that, or is the name of a place?
Yeah, J.
There's a river in Kaswa called.
Yes.
Hey.
So the ayes have it, overwhelming majority.
We are winning, but you
No,
yes.
between Kaswa
Joshua
and
from
Borders.
Ashama.
Okay.
Joshua from Ashama says, I prefer the airport should be called Gan International Airport. Okay. Because Accra has already made its name, but the people. Okay, sorry. Thank you, I got that. So you want Gan International Airport. Well noted. Good morning, Bernard. I'm Rafik from Ashiye.
Correct.
I agree with the change of name to Accra International Airport.
Comfortably.
This is not just a reset, but restoration of national dignity, celebration of sovereignty and democracy. I could not stop laughing hearing the minority leaders' angle on the issue, clearly displaying politics. Finally, General Kotoka died in his own arena. Those who live by the gun die by the gun, but I wish it would be named.
It's okay.
And
It's okay. Everything have to be-
no blame.
It's up to-
Good morning, Bernard.
It's
To avoid all the troubles, let's maintain the name of the Terminal 2 as Kotoka. That's local domestic airport, and the international Accra International. My humble opinion. This one is Chimpe. This one is Chimpe. Offer J inside Akwete, man. Change the name. It's long overdue. Alexander.
I'm now told there's even a house in Zion College, Anglogan, called Kotoka House.
Okay.
So there's also a house in Katasco called Kotoka House as well. Good morning. Just to contribute to the Kotoka issue, the Kotoka can be changed, but I think it should be named after somebody. Accra is already part of the airport. When you travel, Accra is what you see on the notices
Destination,
on boarding
Accra.
passes. Accra, a major airports arrive but have been named after people. By the way, what does Heathrow mean? Is it somebody's name or a place?
Which Heathrow?
Heathrow, is it somebody's name or a place?
The airport Heathrow.
Heathrow is somewhere.
No, it's not somebody's name.
It's just a
somewhere.
place.
It used to be a village. It used to be a village where it wasn't called Heathrow. Okay, it was a village where the Second or First World War military people settled around the Hillenden area.
Yeah. So if you check, they'll tell you the airports are Hillenden.
Okay. So they actually the village was organized by rows of building,
I see.
as in rows.
So
like
he's
that.
row.
Yes, and it was on a heath.
Okay.
So when they chose the place for reconstruction of the airport, they named it Heathrow.
Heathrow. What about Gatwick?
Gatwick is the area is actually called
That's called
Gatwick.
Gatwick.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know, the point I want to make quickly on this is, I wish, me when it comes to this, I'm biased in the sense that I'm a Buklon Kakra. So,
Did you say Kakra? Listeners, we are sorry.
but I want a lot more of these conversations, minus the actors, the politicians. You see, because in a lot of
They
other
should be the
places,
ones leading it.
you see, in a lot of other places, you have your museums and monuments board
Yeah.
empowered to make these decisions. So they would propose and say, considering A, B, C, D, we think that this should be named this at this time, or this should be named that time. So in a lot of places, those decisions are made absent of the political touch, and so you don't get these kinds of conversations coming up in a political stream. But even with that, they generate considerable public discourse everywhere these things come up, because there always be a pro and con. So for instance, let's take the Kotoka one. I'm looking at this. So if I was trying to catch up yesterday on a book about Kotoka, I saw just one, and people can educate me. It was written in 1975
So it's only one,
by a man called Ofuswapia, L.T. Ofuswapia. if I'm
only
not
one
mistaken.
proper book.
Yes. If we take Achiampong, if
It wasn't
this
Professor
man, Professor
Bafo Ajimandua.
Bafo Ajimandua, who decided
To set the
to
record
set the
straight.
record straight,
My God.
he would perhaps be one of the most bastardized persons this country has ever seen.
Even Liman, it was Adaim Mensah's book.
Aha.
That's, because me, when I was growing up, at Champo and Liman, the way they were caricatures was like, oh, this, but they didn't do anything. But when you read those books, I was like, oh, Charlie, everybody actually did something.
So it always takes the people who are in that space to enlighten us, minus the politicians. Who's going to challenge Professor Ajimandia's take on this. I mean, there are people with different opinions, but I'm saying he lived it, and it's in his space.
Maybe before they talk, they should write the same book the Prof.
No, I'm just saying there's an opportunity.
We should use that. So, like, if you want to challenge the man, go and write the Mensa book song.
And nobody has then places that have been named after Kotoka and the military barracks, and who has said a word about them? None.
Yeah.
Because if you look at his military record, I think there are those who tell us he had a sterling military reputation up until
the coup.
He was
so we can't
a
change
soldier.
So the school Kotoka must remain.
It's fine.
All those things. So I'm not saying. So I think that's the other point. It's not like demonizing a man, but I feel like an airport is of high national significance.
Particularly this one.
Yes. So to name it after, I think it was an aberration.
No, it wasn't an aberration, which is why I said context matters. At the time, it wasn't an aberration.
But even it was the government.
Which one is the aberration?
Let me explain myself.
I'm saying which one? Is it the decision to name him or to remove him?
The 1969 decision, because I'm saying that what you read was a government's decision. I'm not sure it was possibly the public sentiment. It was the government's decision. Okay, but if you did a poll today, most Ghanaians will tell you that they think that
they really don't care.
Yes. No, they care.
I mean, what I'm saying that they are not so attached to it to the extent that it has to remain.
So that's what I'm saying that. So the government at the time, it's the same thing. Politicians take a decision. Maybe they should let the people who study these things a bit deeper, who have the way of measuring it, come up with it.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying that. Like, I'm just praying.
But in Ghana, everything. Look at Jubilee House, Flagstaff House.
You hold on.
It was only Mahama who started because Papa, you remember, Kufuor named the thing. It was called Flagstaff House.
We were changing it back.
We got money from I think the Chinese or the Indians to build it, and Kufuor said we did it at Ghana at 50, so Jubilee House. Mills and co were like, if you are not going to live in it, so Mills came and he was in the castle. So Mills didn't even touch it, right? And then when Mahama came, then he moved in there, and in his first term he calls it Flagstaff House. And then Akufo-Addo comes and says Jubilee House again, and Mama says, "Okay, who the fuck Jubilee?" Because even if we was to go Flagstaff, so see the seat of the presidency, the name has gone through changes, and it's all the political people.
Yeah, but I'm saying my ideal situation, just to wrap this up for me, is we get to a time where the ethnic sentiments are removed, or the tribal sentiments are removed from these conversations, where we can have a Koto Stadium in Tamale without people saying that I wasn't born there, because we certainly have had Northerners come and achieve great things in Accra. We've had Bunu people go to the north and achieve great things there. We've had Voltarians go to the central region and achieve great things there. Does that mean that we can't name things after them
but you see,
they're not from there?
We have to be careful. You remember when the Accra Stadium was to be after Ohinijan?
Which is my concern.
Ohinijan, from the little history I know, was a sterling sports administrator.
Ohinijan's reputation, that's what I'm saying. I hope we get to that point where if an Ohinijan's name comes up as the name for an Accra Sports Stadium, people should say, there's nothing wrong with it.
But you know, it's even so petty. But Samuel, let me make it worse for you. Even the name, Papa, even the name of the UHAS. Somebody proposed Ifrimamu. Some people opposed it in the same region.
Yeah.
So we are very petty because think about it.
Exactly.
If Ifrimamu is one of the greatest Ghanaians, right? A university is in Ho, and they said, why don't we call it Ifrimamu University? The people from Ho say no, they no go agree because it's not from there. In our country, this is how we are.
So we are hoping the conversation goes beyond
we
that.
are
One day.
When the minority that does this, he's basically playing to that gallery because you realize that actually
is the majority leader.
Both of them are.
That's I don't want to miss that point.
Yeah.
That thing of with the Accra people to deserve to be.
But what I'm saying is that when you listen to the two of them, Ayariga wasn't doing politics.
Ayariga was not doing politics.
He just mentioned.
He was doing politics.
To you, he wasn't doing politics. Yeah. What I'm saying that introducing the element of the Accra people also need to be recognized. Yeah. I am telling Ayariga that Accra people's mode of recognition is not through the name Accra.
Papa, but you are the same people who said we shouldn't say Accra, but we should say Obake.
No, who's the same people?
It's Accra people.
That's language. That's different. That's language. That's language. What I'm saying is that in Accra, if you go to Ghana, the person in Teshi is not under the Ghana state. So you can't use the reference Accra and think that you are dealing with everybody.
So Accra was the capital city's name. It wasn't representing Ghana.
That's
so
the point I'm making.
Shouldn't have.
Because he wanted to do politics.
Thank you. That's
he
the
wanted
goal.
to link it to Ghana people. So that's what I'm saying. That he actually triggered this thing.
Was Apenyo reacting to that?
Possibly.
No, but you see,
Possibly. No,
Because
his reaction could have been similar to what Mahama did and said, let's go with the name.
I'm saying both of them are wrong.
No, I'm saying if it wasn't that you even mentioned, when I heard it, I didn't make the connection that he was doing. Just when you listen to Apenyo Makin, it's more direct.
It's more direct, but
I didn't get the
his was subtle.
Well, you pointed that out. I didn't.
In my opinion, his was subtle.
In fact, if you listen to the reactions, to the audios I played, most of the reactions are condemning Apenyo Makin. Most of the reactions didn't you see the
because
connection.
Of how he went
I'm saying that
it.
the connection came after you thought about it. Most of the reactions I'm getting didn't come on Ayariga.
Yeah,
I'm not here to defend you. I'm not saying that
it's okay.
It was the way Apenyo Makin went about it.
It's okay that it didn't come, but as for me, I am saying that his reference to Accra as a representative of Ghana people is not correct. That's the point I'm making.
Yes,
you have every reason, if you want to change it. You've thought through it. But I'm just saying that if you now try linking Ghana people to the new name Accra or reverting to the Accra International Airport, your opponent will also come on the grounds of ethnicity. So it's just a tit for tat.
Just quickly, Bernard, and maybe Uncle Sam is the most senior, so he will be able to put what I'm about to say in context.
Not most knowledgeable.
No, but I think that we need to be careful with certain things that may come out as being ethnocentric. If, for instance, we are rejecting certain names on the basis that people are not from this region.
That's what we do.
I agree.
It's not
the question for me is that what makes a group of people, a particular person, an aborigine of a particular place?
Well,
if you follow the history of our migration, we are literally the same people who have moved to different parts, and nobody really stays at one place for long in our history.
Such conversations, but unfortunately, they are the ones who have the power to make the changes. So that's the problem.
No,
we've given them so much power that when they, look. This is something that we will not solve today. Ghanaians are very petty and very touchy about names. And from the history of the little things I've said, from Flagstaff House to Mamu's name, to CK Tedam, to all these university names that the previous government tried to change, and is something that people are very touchy about. As we've all said, we should not push the ethnocentric line as leaders. It's very bad. It doesn't help us.
But I think that we ourselves as people also have to let go of some of these ethnocentric stereotypes that we carry along. Because we put some value on it, that is why the politicians will seek to make capital out of that. 100%. So we ourselves have to accept certain things and let certain things go.
They play on our prejudice and weaponize it against us, because I think that if nobody rewards such things with votes and sentiments, they wouldn't even find any capital in doing it. But that still does not underscore deny the fact that the politicians should not be doing that. You can change the name. Don't
First made a point. Maybe let's not overlook that one about the museums and monuments board. How we can empower them with some of these responsibilities. I am sure that even the museums and monument board, they heard the announcement for the first time, like you and me.
Yesterday, when they said they were doing a press conference today, I actually thought it was a joint press conference to talk about the posture of Parliament and their relations with the media. Only to find out that it was more like, this is what we are coming to do, these are the programs, and minorities also. It was basically like everybody would say their side. So it wasn't joint
two
like that.
Separate interests.
So it was like two separate interests pushing two separate views, but it's a supposedly joint.
But you had higher expectations.
No, because because the way it was sold to us was that before Parliament opens, leadership wants to address us. So maybe they're going to say, for example, we've agreed that the language of Parliament must be better, the media reporter. I thought that was what we were going to talk about, but it was like, Charlie, this is what we are coming to do.
It was given that reference to get everybody's attention.
The politicians, they have their own agenda. Or they did that. Okay, so they did that. And when they finished, then they did it. Oh, come and talk into the mic. Come and they did that.
So what they did was to brief the public on what they'll be working on
for the year.
Some of the bills.
And then when they finish,
when they finish,
they move it to that side. Okay.